Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Okay, tell me if you have this problem. You start your day off with this to-do list, and as you're crossing stuff off, you're adding stuff on, and sometimes by the end of the day, it's longer than when it began. If you have that problem, you're not alone. I think a lot of people do. To talk about that, Sandi Glandt, she is a productivity coach. Sandi, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me today.
I think I speak for all Americans that during the pandemic, when we're all on lockdown and Monday was no different than Tuesday or Sunday, I think we all had a productivity issue, didn't we, Sandi?
Yeah, I heard so much from my clients, whether it was my one-on-one clients, my group coaching clients, that they just felt like it was Groundhog's Day. They'd wake up and every day felt the same. And you were just on this never-ending hamster wheel of having to get things done, but just never knowing what day it was.
Yes, I've watched several of your videos, just amazing. One of the tips that you give, I think, is profound. Do the worst thing first. Tell us about that. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so all of us, right, we have something every single day that we're dreading to do, whether it's making the phone call, sending out the email, whatever it is, right? But if we can get that done the first thing in the day, then it's all downhill from there. And if we keep putting it off and putting it off, then you're just dreading that thing even more, right? So it's so important that we make sure that we're getting the hardest thing out of the way first thing, so everything else from there, it's easy, right? And then you can actually be more productive knowing that that thing is done and off your plate. And sometimes we build those things up in our mind so much bigger than they actually are. But when we actually tackle them and get them done, then we're like, why did I put so much emphasis and power into this thing I needed to get done when it really took me less time than I thought it was going to take me, or I just really needed to get it done and move on to the next thing.
I'm part of several different entrepreneur groups, and I think I speak for a lot of CEOs. They can be brilliant in one area, but terribly dysfunctional and disorganized in others. I know you do a lot of coaching with CEOs. I mean, is there a missing gene there where we're all just disorganized?
No, it's not a missing gene. It's just one of those things. The more you do it, the better you get at it. So, if you practice this every day and you just know that, okay, I'm not great in this area, one of the things that you can do is outsource or delegate that, right? It's really easy for us to find and focus on the things that we're not great at. But when we can focus on the things that are going to move us forward in our business, that are going to, I call it the money-making moves in our business, we can focus on the money-making moves and not have to focus so much on the things that we aren't great at. We can actually be more productive and move the ball forward even further when we focus on the things that are going to move the business further and not getting so caught up in the minutia of the small details that maybe we can outsource or delegate.
Yes, and you've become a much sought-after expert on television, radio, and print across the country. I saw a wonderful item on your website, and we're going to roll that right now.
Hey guys, Sandi Glandt here. I am at PBS Studios right here in South Florida. We're here with the Health Channel. I'm going to be talking today all about my Magic Mom Morning Guide. So if you don't know what that is, I'm going to talk all about it today and about how we can set mom up for success first thing in the morning. So let's go ahead inside and I'll tell you all about it. Got you thinking like that. on the Health Channel. We were chatting the Modern Mom's Guide. It was so amazing. Thank you for having me on.
It was so great to meet you because I felt like I have all these new mom balance tips.
Yes.
Even though we said we don't like the word balance, but
Yes.
Sandi said it right.
Figuring it out.
We're figuring it out, and we start our day with positive.
That's right, affirmations. We're going to give you a whole list of all of the things that you can do to set yourself up for success.
Very cool. Well, I know one of the things that you're often asked to talk about is these devices right here. I mean, they're a blessing and a curse because you're working on a project and then all of a sudden a text message comes in or an email comes in and now you're distracted and it takes a long time to get back to the task you're working on.
Yep. And that's the biggest thing too, is just knowing that that's a distraction for you. So there was a study done that said every time we get an interruption, whether it's a ping, a ding, a text, someone walking into your office, distracting you, it takes you 40 minutes to get back into that same task that you were doing in the first place. So limiting those distractions, and I know especially right now, because so many of us are working from home, we are up against more distractions than ever before. So finding the best pockets of time or hours during the day that you can work uninterrupted. I know for a lot of moms or parents working from home, that means maybe waking up before your kids are up, working during nap time after they go down to bed, but just finding those pockets of time where you can work without the distractions so you really have that laser focus.
Yes. And I know women are famous for multitasking. They can be thinking about like 8 different things at the same time. Whereas I get laser focused. I get so focused in the little box that I'm working on that my wife can be talking to me and I can't even hear her. I mean, is there a genetic difference between men and women? Have you experienced that?
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, my husband's the exact same way. He gets so locked in on the thing that he's doing. But, you know, it actually does us more harm than good when we're trying to do 5 things at once. And I know as women, we magically somehow just always get everything done and accomplished. But I challenge you to step back from that because, like I said, it actually does us more harm than good when we're half in writing an email, half in watching the kids while we're on a phone call. So I like to call it smart multitasking. So it's not a problem if you're listening to, let's say, a podcast or a YouTube video while you're doing the dishes or, you know, putting the laundry away. But the things that are really important, you don't want to be doing multiple things at once because you're really just putting out half the effort and getting half the job done. And there's no point in doing a job halfway, right? So we want to make sure that wherever we're putting our focus, our time and attention, if it's important, which when it comes to our kids, our family, our work, we want to make sure that we're 100% in that thing so we can get it done and move on to the next thing.
And I know you're a much sought after public speaker. We're going to roll some video of you speaking to a group not too long ago. Tell us when you get invited to speak and we're not social distancing, what are some of the topics you get called on to speak about?
Yeah, so a lot of the times, right? So I speak mostly to women. And the thing with that is, you know, productivity and time management, and how do we do it all? Because the women that I speak to, these women want it all. They are ambitious. They want to go after big goals and dreams in life, and they're not willing to settle. So the thing that I mostly speak on is how do I do all the things? How do I wear all the hats, but also be fulfilled in life? Because at the end of the day, if we're just on that never ending hamster wheel, we feel like we're just work, and then dishes, laundry, all the things that, you know, we have to do at home as well, it can be very overwhelming. So for me, I work with women who want to have it all, who want to feel fulfilled in every area of life. And they don't just want to feel like they're waking up and, like I was saying before, like it's Groundhog's Day every day. And it's just the never ending tasks and chores and to-do lists.
Yes. Well, I always ask this question of experts. When you're a productivity expert, it seems like you really can't have a day off. You can't have an excuse, can you? Can you say, I'm sorry, I couldn't get around to it? You're the productivity expert.
It's so funny. So on Memorial Day, I had my parents visiting, 8.5 months pregnant. And I said, man, this is the first time I sat down and I took a nap for like an hour because I was exhausted. And I had said to my mom, I can't believe I actually took a nap on a work day. She's like, well, technically it's a holiday. So I don't know if that counts. And, you know, I think again, as women, we put so much pressure on ourselves. And I will say that there's a difference between being busy and being productive. And when you're productive, you're getting things done, you're being efficient as well as effective in whatever area, in your business, at home. But we don't want to confuse the two of being busy, because when we're busy, we're just doing busy work. We're not actually being effective and efficient in where we're spending our time and how we're spending our time. So again, as a woman, especially if you feel like you need a moment to have a day off, take an hour off, or rest your body, especially if you're pregnant, right? Then you got to listen to your body. But at the end of the day, there's so many ways to tap into that productivity versus the busy mindset, and that'll change the game for you.
Yes. Okay. Just one more question, because I know there's this debate across America among CEOs. Do I allow my team to work remotely, or do I bring them into the office? Just having observed these last few months, are we more productive at home or at the office?
You know, I've heard both sides of this. I've heard the side where I'm not driving into the office, so I'm saving time, and I can just jump into my work and be really efficient in my business from home. And then I've heard this side of it also from the women that I work with that are saying, my kids are at home, my husband's at home, they're driving me crazy, I can't get anything done. So I think it really just depends on the environment that you work best in and how you feel like you're going to be able to get your best work done. Again, there could be more challenges at home because kids are there, spouse is there, dogs barking in the background. Or if you maybe don't have those distractions at home, it could be actually a really great opportunity for you to work from home and have that limited distractions, because you're not dealing with the gossip in the office, you're not dealing with the distractions in the office. So I think at the end of the day, you have to know yourself. You have to know how you're going to be most productive and what that looks like for you to operate, and then get to work, because you can't be stuck in all those distractions. That'll just take you away from the bigger goal.
Outstanding. Boy, you've been an amazing interview. I can honestly say one of the most productive interviews I've ever conducted. We're going to put your website up so everybody can get in touch with you. SandiGlandt.com is her website, and reach out to her and connect with her on social. Sandi, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.